Welcome to the Trading Lounge and the ASX 200 here. We're just going to shoot the breeze on the bigger picture to start with, and with that in mind, pretty much in the world there's two types of patterns. Well, there's probably more, but just two that stick out quite prominently for me, and one of them is this particular pattern here, where we see that the sharp move down through here has seen a corrective move to this point. It's corrective because the move down through here has overlapped the previous wave structure. Okay, so there is this pattern where across the world where we see that this current high here hasn't taken out this high here, and then there's markets that have taken out this particular high here. Okay, so there's one that's taken it out, and there's one that hasn't taken it out. So the ones that have taken this top out through here, such as the S&P 500, but that said, it's just not America in that particular sense, because when we have a look at the banking sector, let's say Goldman Sachs or those sorts of markets, we'll see that they have this particular pattern here where they haven't taken the tops out here. Okay, so there's some markets that have taken that top out, and they would obviously look like a bit like this. So we could say that this particular high here, such as here, what we've seen is we've seen like wave, I would call it wave 1 and wave 2 and wave 3 here, that's taken out the high, and we've seen a move come down through here. So that's one pattern. The other pattern, which is worth drawing out, which is one we're looking at now. So we've got that high and this situation moving down down here, and then we have a simple sort of A, B, and C here. And as I've mentioned, so that top there is this top here. Because this move down through here has taken out the top here, that means that I can't call this, in this case here, I could call this wave 1 here and wave 2, whoopsie-daisy, wave 2 here, and obviously we can call this wave 3 here, okay, and then this being wave 4 in play here. So I was thinking that the first half of 2016 has got a possibility to move higher. So what that would do with patterns like this one here, say the S&P 500, it would make a new high here and create that last fifth wave here. Okay, in this particular instance here, what we would only see a small wave up here and then a crash here. So the stronger markets that have been quite strong here, they can continue to make that extra high above here, but these ones here won't make a high above here. So in this case here, which is like this one here, we would just be expecting this wave 2 to come into play here. So some markets can move higher, some can just move to this point here. So the weaker markets, such as the ASX 200 here, could just move to this point here and then fold over from here. Some of our markets could actually move higher through here. So all I'm saying is that there's these two patterns here across the global market, and obviously there's sectors that are performing better than others and so forth. So some will do this and some will just do this here. So I'm always open-minded. I don't like to get locked into being bullish or bearish unless I have enough evidence to weight that particular comment. So I'm open, for this market here to make a new high, but I think that we should just, take everything step by step. There's a big difference between technical analysis and then getting financial positioning into the market. So there's a big difference within all of that. But coming into this point here, what I was looking here at is that looking at this in terms of this move down here be completed, and looking for wave 2 around the 5,500 here would be looking for that 61.8% retracement level. And that, first of all, we got to get, which is, I can draw that in here, but the main point here really is that before we can start calling in this high here, it would only be logical to say to ourselves, well, the closest largest number is 5,000 here. So that's a major trading level. So we'd really want to be on support there, you know, a nice solid support on that, okay? Also, as it stands at the moment, this market can also just go up to 5,100 and then fail from that point there. But this is the biggest. This picture here is the picture we've been following from all the way coming up through here. So, you know, it's something that we can't rule out. On the daily chart here, it looks a little bit like this here. So, and this is kind of interesting. Too, in a sense that this has made 5 waves down. And remember that this spike here isn't on the cash market so much. It's actually this low here, and that's why I've got it wave 1 and 2, a nice strong third wave here, and then an A wave, a B wave in 3 waves, and a C wave up here for wave 4, and then down for wave 5. So now we will see this pattern in A and Z with 5 waves down, but we won't see it with CBA, for instance. So CBA has made 3 waves down, A and Z has made 5 waves down. Now, so there's a difference between, even within the banking sector, that's what I'm sort of saying. Now, with this here, of course, is that we've got wave 2 here, and that's okay. And this is the 61.8% mark here from that high down to this low here. So we can roughly just throw that out onto the page up there. So that's fine. But more so, what we need is this 5,000 here. Without this as support, then we're pretty much sort of looking at a new low here, because to me, the line in the sand is the closest largest number, and you would go long if you had that as support, and going long right on here would be a dangerous thing to do. The other point here too that we kind of got to throw into the works is the 61.8 50-60% retracement level from these little this last little leg here. So that means that, you know, we can roughly just put this out here, which would be near the 5100 here, 1 being the second strongest number in the market. We would have to sort of respect that. So any support on top of the 5,000, then we'd need to look at 5,100 as a possible failure point. And even though I've drawn this out as an A and a B and a C, that's just the basic textbook thing to do. But like I said, we need to get support on top of this first. Now, there does appear to be 5 waves from here down to here. So it's likely that we can push up into this space here. On the 2-hour chart here, we were looking at this wave 4 here, looking at 5 waves down here, and looking for a move up. Now, remember that this is the 50-60% retracement level from this high here and the other high here. The other C wave that we're looking for is at 5,500 roughly, let's just say up here somewhere. Now, this little first move that's moved up here, as you can see, it appears to be in 3 waves, doesn't it? So to me, that's telling me that the rest of the move here is actually corrective here. So if it was going to be corrective, it would just be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here. The C wave would have 5 waves, so we could label this as 1 and 2 here, 3rd wave, 4th wave, and 5th wave, which will take us into this little area here. So it would only really be, if, say, this consolidation here, if we move below that, then that would wipe out this particular 5-wave structure that we're moving in here, this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So I think that in some way we'll be seeing some little move up above here. But first of all, we need to be mindful that it can fail from this point here and work lower. And in that working lower, this where I've got wave 5 here, realistically we've got 5 waves here, but that could also be, if I can just throw a spanner in the works, it could be wave 1 to here and wave 2 to here and not even be finished there. So we would need to see further development of that that occurring first here. So on the 15-minute chart, just to work into this particular low area through here. I know this is all a little bit cramped, but from the low here, I'll put that wave 5 there. Possible wave 1, so we won't rule that out, which could fail at 5-1 here. But it's more likely that this A, B, and C wave that I'm looking at here is just the A wave of the orange one that we looked at just a moment ago. So this would make an A and a B and a C just for the A wave, then a B wave here, pulling back 50-60%, and then a C wave coming up further up into that space there. I don't know about all of this, but this is sort of how it's panning out so far. So so from this move here, I don't think that it's completed just yet, but as I mentioned, a move back into group 1 here would give us overlapping wave structures with this wave 1 here. Okay, so a move below that makes it a bearish pattern from this point here. The other way that, no, I think that that's pretty much, okay, yeah, well, I'm just sort of thinking it's a bit of a wild call, but I've got to check on the cash market for that. So anyway, that's sort of where we're up to at the moment. Let's just, it's not like the market, this ASX 200 is going to go up to the upside very fast at all here. So we're not going to miss anything. So I suggest that if we can just allow this to, you know, finish its trend up through here. But yeah, like I said, a move back below 4,930 on the cash market would breach this and make it bearish at that point. And then we would need to look at this as an A wave to here, a B wave to here, and a C wave up to here, which would still be wave 1 and wave 2 here. And we should still see another high come into play here. But yeah, let's just get through this consolidation here, so we've got a bit more of a wave structure to work with. But that's it in the bigger picture, and the banks are driving that. There are also some support coming in from iron ore and copper as well. So it's not like the materials sector is going to drag this down a little bit. We're also looking for rallies in that sector as well. So obviously this is a commodity market, and this is ruled by the finance and the materials, and the materials are showing possibilities of some support moving in at the moment. So it would help in the bigger picture to put this to the upside here further. So any sort of long trade that you're looking at, I mean, I always think that the ASX 200 offers a trade probably twice to 3 times a week, and it's just a matter of finding those, and going long into this scenario here at 5,000 would just cause headaches. So I think that allowing this to move to this point here, coming back in an ABC, finding support, and then trading this one up would be one trade. Obviously there's legs to be traded in this drop to here as such as well, and even support on 5,000 to the upside here, going through group 1 would be a trade as well. But any from wave 4 here to wave 5 here, we'd be looking at the same length as wave 1 here. So once that falls into play here, then we can look at that. Alrighty, cheers.